Welcome to FailCraft, the podcast where we dive into the messy, real side of success and explore how setbacks become the stepping stones to growth and clarity. I'm your host, Ezekiel Iferia, and today's guest is Karina, who writes under the pen name KK Biernath. Like many of us, Karina spent years trying to be the good student of life. She moved to the US from Poland, learned the language, built a corporate career, and checked every box of success. But while her resume looked perfect, her body was screaming. She eventually hit a point of physical breakdown, a moment where her body simply refused to continue living a life that wasn't hers. She realized that her own thoughts were making her sick. She stepped away from the corporate world to care for her twins, who were born with a rare genetic condition. And in that quiet space, she began to write. She is the author of Karina, One Woman's Journey from Fear to Freedom. She's here to talk about the painful process of unbecoming who you were told to be, why freedom is an inside job, and how to heal when you realize you've been your own jailer. So, Karina, I am very excited to welcome you to FieldCraft. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Great to have you here. So, let's get started, Karina. You wrote that you lived the life you thought you were supposed to live, career, marriage, success, but inside you were lost, and then your body began to break down. We often ignore our intuition, but we really cannot ignore the physical pain. So, can you take us back to the season of physical breakdown? So, was there a specific day or symptom that finally scared you enough to stop performing and start listening?
I had an ongoing IBS back in 2017. It started, and I dealt with that. But really, when I decided something has to change was in 2021, when after dealing with pericarditis, IBS, anemia, pneumonia, I had a Lyme disease, and I'm like year before, and I'm like, that's it. Something has to change. I cannot be having one thing breaking my body after another. And this is when I basically stopped reaching out to our Western medicine, and I reached out to holistic doctor to help me with my illnesses and also help me with my soul, because I believe there is a big body and mind and soul connection when it comes to also physical symptoms. So whatever I feel and think shows up in my body. I strongly believe in that.
All right. So, Karina, as an immigrant and a driven woman, did you feel did you feel a massive pressure to, be the good girl who doesn't complain?
Well, I never dreamed to come to America, but once I decided, I'm like, so I want to have a nice house, nice job, of course, car, and a family, and I need to look perfect and behave perfect. I felt the pressure from outside, but the worst pressure I think I have put on myself. But actually, with my last job, which I love the job, I actually started realizing that I don't want that. I don't want that pressure anymore. But yes, but I was the worst, my worst critic, my worst.
Okay. So, for you personally, did you feel like, you were failing your family or your culture by admitting you weren't happy later?
So I was taking care of my family working first, and then I was the last one. And that's why I started to break down. And because they were first and I was the last one. And obviously, you're starting to feel resentful at some point, and also your body starts to tell something is off, take care of me. So did they see that? Did they feel that? I'm not sure, but I definitely neglected myself during the process, and that's why I start getting sick and also very unhappy.
Okay. So, you use this very interesting phrase, the path of unbecoming. Usually, we talk about becoming successful. So, why is unbecoming the harder work to do?
Because you need to stop doing what you were meant to do. So you need to unbecome the person you are in order to become the person you are meant to be. And it's very hard. Like, I was very perfectionistic and I was very guilt driven. So I had to become very aware so I can stop doing the things. So I can unbecome the guilt driven person or the full of fear person. So you have to unbecome somebody, stop doing certain things so you can become the person you were always meant to be. And it's not an easy path.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
All right. All right. So that actually is the base for my next question. In your path
Yes.
to unbecoming, so what was the hardest layer you had to peel off?
First, I think the hardest part is to become aware of your own thoughts so you can start to make the change in your life. It's really to become aware. What am I thinking most of the time during the day? And then from feelings, guilt about anything and everything towards anybody, everybody. So it was, but so first, becoming aware of the feelings. And then in my case, to get rid of it and becoming to be the guilt driven person was really, really hard for me. And I still feel the guilt coming. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 out the window. You cannot be next to me right now. I don't want that guilt in my life. So it's very hard for me, at least. The guilt which leads to fear.
Great. So, Karina, you left the corporate career, where you felt seen and valued to care for your kids and family. So, did you struggle with a sense of lost identity or feeling like you had failed your career ambitions in those early days of full-time caregiving for your family?
No, I didn't lose the identity. But I felt tremendous guilt first. Like I'm
Mm,
doing nothing. And it was my problem after I left. And it was really, really hard decision because I work with wonderful people. And I think because of the executives I work with, they help me see who I am. They help me see my value. They help me see my own potential. So it was a very hard decision to make. And the guilt that I am not making money, that I'm not having full-time job, like real full-time job, because it's still you fear but being a mama, it's not a job, and it is. So it was my problem. And identity, I actually very quick realized my passions. I mean, very quick, because the idea to write the book actually came along as I was working. And so very quick I realized this is what I want to do, and which gave me a different identity.
okay, okay. So, you wrote that you realized that if your thoughts could make you ill, maybe your thoughts could also help you heal. So that's quite a powerful realization. So I'd like to know, how do you actually, change a thought pattern that has been running 40 years? Is it like a daily practice?
Absolutely, every day. And so first is, I mean, I started first with actually, like back 5 years ago or 6 years ago by now, but waking up and seeing things I can be grateful for. It was my first step. And then really realizing, being aware of what you're thinking, and you have to do it constantly. Like, I may say something and I realize my body doesn't feel right. Okay. And I'm like, it's something off here. So every day, and like, if I feel guilt coming up when I say or do something, so it's really ongoing practice, but you can change it. And once you realize the thoughts, you can change how you react to them. It's really daily practice, probably until I die. Definitely.
All right. So, Karina, like we've discussed earlier, you are an author. So, can you tell us about your book? So, what's it about? What was your motivation to write the book, and
So,
who are the ideal readers?
okay, I mean, think everybody can be a ideal reader, because I am in my memoir, Karina, One Woman's Journey from Fear to Freedom. I am describing, I am so many different problems. And I think a lot of us can relate to, alcoholism, or eating disorder, depression, low self-esteem, fear, guilt, being parents of your own, being parent of your parents, codependency. The idea to write a book came to me basically the week I resigned from my last corporate job. And I asked my daughter, "Can I write a book?" She's like, "Of course, mom." And then it took me over a year to actually sit down and start writing, another 2 years to actually make it to the format is right now. And I wrote it. The book is dedicated to my children. I have 4 of them. And because I want to show them through that book that despite difficulties we go through life, mistakes we make, there's always chance to make your life better. You can always change your life. You can always, and you also can
Mm.
create your life. Don't wait for somebody to create your life. Be the creator of your own life. And are we getting it right now? I'm not sure. The little guys probably know. The big one, maybe. I would like to inspire people and make them realize that they are their own creators of their life. And there's no time to blame anybody because we are the one who are creating our life. And also the life comes with the bad and good. And it's time to accept it. There will be good and bad days.
All right, all right. Your book is a journey from fear to freedom. Most people think freedom means having a lot of money or time, but you seem to define it differently. So, in your opinion, can someone actually be free even when life is difficult and constrained by
Absolutely.
responsibilities? Okay.
For me, freedom right now means I can wake up in the morning and do what I want, feel good about myself, don't worry about what others say, beliefs I have, and the freedom I actually give myself by myself. Nobody can give me freedom. We allow ourselves to have a freedom in our life by lowering our expectations, by changing our beliefs, which no longer serves us. So for me, this is the freedom, but I can stand to my beliefs, but I can do what I love, but I don't get upset when somebody tells me this and this about myself. This is freedom for me. Of course, financial freedom is great too, but I value more of the freedom I feel inside in my heart.
All right. All right. For the listener right now who is sitting in their car, and their body hurts, they might have chronic headache, fatigue, or maybe anxiety, and they know deep down that it's because they are, living the wrong life. So, what's the first small boundary you think they need to set today?
What came to my mind, it was as you were asking me the question, I'm like, number one, when something is wrong, just accept it and allow it to be. Even if it's sadness, let the sadness be. Let whatever you feel, let it be. Very often we hiding and suppressing the feelings, and feel what you're feeling, and then try to figure out what you can do to feel better. Yeah, I mean, really accepting what's happening in you, in your mind, in your body. I would say this is the most important step and the first step to make any change as well.
Karina, after moving across the world, navigating medical complexities with your children and rewriting your own story, I'd like to know at the moment, what does being successful truly mean to you?
To actually have a courage to sit in front of you and do a podcast, to not
Mm,
to, this is for me success, writing the book and publishing it and speaking about it and having the courage, at least from my personal journey. For me, it is success to continue to writing, to believe in what I'm doing. It's a success right now. And, having living my life and not worrying about what others say. And it's not easy because everybody has a lot of opinions. And for me, success to basically creating my life, you know, letting myself be who I am and do what I love to do.
that was a really, really interesting response. So, lastly, for our listeners who want to read your memoir, Karina,
Yes.
or connect with you, so where is the best place for them to go?
I think really when you go to my website, www.kkbiernath.com, you can find a link to book trailer, link to purchase the book, could be by Amazon, Barnes& and Noble. And I On Amazon Book, it's in few different formats. It can be audiobook, ebook, and also hard and soft copy. Through the website, you can also connect with me on a social media. I'm on a LinkedIn. Let's start. Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm also on YouTube and starting to share videos over there. And I am going by KK Biernath, Biernath. And I guess that would be all. And I'm trying to do in-person events in local area at least once a month, which I have another one coming in 2 weeks on February 2nd, not 2nd, 8th.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing that with us, Karina.
Thank you.
It's been a really interesting conversation with you, and I am truly, truly excited to have you on the show today. Thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate that.